Welcome back to another episode of Android application development tutorial. In today's episode we are going to learn about how to add a list of items into an alert dialog. So you can add a list of items into an alert dialog in two ways. First one is a persistent single choice list, that means the list that contain radio buttons, and second one is a persistent multi-choice list, that means the list contains checkboxes. If you're using the single choice list, then you can select only one item at a time from the alert dialog, and if you are using multi-choice list, you can select more than one item from the dialog using the checkboxes. Okay, so here in this video I'm going to show you how to create a single choice list and how to select only one item from the list using a radio buttons. We will discuss the second, that means using checkboxes, in the next part. So start a new project in Eclipse. So for creating the dialog, here on the package I am going to create a new class. So select the new class option and I name the class as single choice class and browse for the superclass. Here we are going to display the dialog using dialog fragment. So search for dialog fragment and choose this one and click OK, click finish. Okay, now we got the class that extends the dialog fragment. Now we need some override methods to create the dialog. So here I am going to override the method on create dialog. You can create the dialog from this method. Okay, so here we are going to add some list of items into the dialog. So first we need some list of items. For that, here I am going to create an object of char sequence items equal to, here I am going to add 3 items, easy, medium, and final one is hard. Okay, these are the difficulty levels. Yeah, here you need to specify some brackets. Okay, so I just declare a char sequence that contain 3 values, easy, medium, and hard. Okay, now here in this method I'm going to create the alert dialog using the builder class. So alert dialog dot builder, I name the object as builder equal to new alert dialog dot builder get activity. Okay, now I just create an object of builder class using the alert dialog. Now I'm going to add the list into the dialog using the builder object. So first I have to set a title for the dialog. So builder dot set title, choose difficulty level. Okay, just set a title, and now I'm going to add the list from the char sequence into the dialog using set single choice items, and in this constructor you have to pass 3 arguments. First one is the items, that means the object of the char sequence. Here the object name is items, I pass that one, and here you have to specify which item is checked when the dialog appear. So I put -1. -1 means no items are checked when the dialog will appear, and now you need to specify the listener. New dialog interface this one dialog interface think there is some mistakes. Here you have to pass the listener. Yeah, this one, new dialog interface. Here you need to import some package, so import the needed packages, and here you need to put a semicolon. Okay, so now I have to set a positive button, so I am not going to put a semicolon here. So when user select an item, this method will invoke. When user select an item, this method will invoke. So I have to save the selection. For that, here I am going to create a string selection. Okay, and in this method you can get two arguments, the dialog interface object and an integer argument. So you can get the index of the selected item from this integer argument. So here I am going to save the items. For that, I just start a switch case statement. So I check the value of arg1. If the value equal to 0, that means user select the first item on the list. So I have to save that particular items from the char sequence into this string variable selection. So selection equal to items of index. Here we got the index from the argument arg1. Okay, we need to cast it into string. Okay, and now go to the second case. If the selection is 1, if the index is 1, we have to get the selection in string variable selection. And now it is, now go to the third selection, case 2. Okay, no need of this default. Okay, so when user select an item from the list, this method, the on-click method, will invoke, and I use a switch case statement to select the values of the arg1, and I check the values of arg1 here. If it is index value 0, user select the first item. If it is index value 1, user select the second item. So I save the selection into the variable into the string variable selection. Okay, and finally here I'm going to add a button, set positive button. First I have to put a title for the button, and here we need the listener, new dialog interface. Yeah, this one, dialog interface, on click listener, and finally you need a semicolon here. So when user select the item and click the OK button, we have to display the selection. So I display the selection here, toast dot make text, get activity. Your difficulty level is and we got the difficulty level from variable selection. So put that value selection and specify the duration for this toast. I make it as short, and finally make it visible using show method. Okay, so we just add some list of item using char sequence into the dialog. If you are using the single selection, then you can use this method, set single, this method this method, set single choice items. That means the items will appear with a radio button. That means you can select only one item at a time. And here I save the selection using a switch case statement, and finally I display the selection whenever user click the OK button available on the dialog. Okay, so for displaying this alert dialog, I add a button into the main activity, into the XML file, into the main activity main.xml file, and change the title of the button. Select difficulty. Okay, select difficulty and change it into match parent. Also add an on-click method for this button and do it on-click. Select difficulty. So we have to define this method on main activity. So copy this one and go to the main activity and define that method here. Okay, we need a view object here. Import the package. Something we miss from the single choice class. Finally, we have to create that dialog. Return builder dot create. Okay, now go to main activity.java file. Okay, in this method you have to call that class. So for that we need an object of that class. So single choice class my dialog equal to new single choice class. Just create an object of the class, and now you have to call the show method to display the dialog. So here I'm going to call that method. So my dialog. Before we have to change it into fragment activity. Okay, now my dialog dot show get supported fragment manager and put a tag here, my dialog. Okay, now we can run the project. So I select the project, and before going to run it I have to build the project. Okay, now we can run the application. So click the play button, run as Android application, and open your emulator. Yeah, select the emulator, use the same device, click OK. Okay, now the project is available on the emulator. So I click the button, select the difficulty. Now here we got the alert dialog that contain a list 3 items: easy, medium and hard. Here is the title, choose a difficulty level. Okay, I select an item medium and click OK. Now your difficulty level is medium. Okay, again click the button and choose hard and click OK. Now your difficulty level is hard. I hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel for getting more video updates. Thank you for watching. See you in the next part.